Hello, everybody, and welcome to MangaPod. We are a weekly podcast in which we read all or part of a manga, and then we discuss it with friendship, love, and lots of spoilers. This week we read Land of the Lustrous, Volume 1 through 3, Chapters 1 through 20. I am your host for today because our lovely host, Erin, has a migraine and a fussy babu and all of the thingies that require her to rest. And so I will take up the mantle. I'm Dodger, and this is my channel. Welcome. And we've got a lovely pillar of the podcast as well as a very special guest. So, Lou, why don't you go first and tell everybody who you is?
Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Lou from Lou Talks Anime. And I'm really excited to talk about this manga because I really like the anime that came from it. So yeah, I'm in a good mood. This is
good
fucking manga.
I'm so glad.
It's great. I miss Erin. I wish she was here.
Of course.
But I'm gonna try my damnedest to make up for it. You know,
we just gotta let all of our emotions out.
Just barf all the feels.
Do it.
Let it all out.
All the feels barfs. I'm down.
What about you, Dakota, our lovely guest?
I am absolutely ecstatic that we're doing Hoseki no Kuni, Land of Lustrous, because it is a spectacular phenomenal anime that you need to check out. And and then that's about it. And the manga was really interesting to get into. Can't wait to talk about it to you guys.
Hell yeah.
Are we doing we don't do the readings? Do we do the readings anymore? The description?
Yes, if you're down to read the summary, that would be lovely, but you don't have to. It's up to you.
You guys do the thing. I'm going to wham the fuck out of this.
Oh shit. I'm down.
All right. Yeah, so MangaPod, the way that it typically works is the whole first section is spoiler free. We're going to read a summary of the manga that we read. We're going to, without spoiling what goes on, we're going to give you an idea of whether or not we think that it's worth your time, whether or not we liked it, essentially. And then we're going to give you a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 countdown into the actual spoiler section. The overlay will change. It'll say spoiler section in big letters so that you know not to stick around anymore if you would like to go and read it and you don't want to know what happened in the chapters that we read. So Dakota, are you reading it, or Lou, are you reading it? Are you whomming it?
Wham it,
my dude.
In a mysterious future, oh god damn it.
Push through, wham it.
I was joking about that, but now it's starting to get a little difficult here. Okay, so the crystalline organisms called gems inhabit a world that has been destroyed by 6 meteors. Each gem is assigned a role in order to fight against the Lunarians, a species who attacks them in order to shatter their bodies and use them as decorations. Phos, also known as Phos, is not pronounced the first name, is a young and fragile gem who dreams to help her friends in the war effort. Instead, they are told to compile an encyclopedia because of their delicate condition. Why did they do this to me? After embarking on this task, Fox meets Cinnabar, and an intelligent gem who has relegated to patrols at the isolated island at night because of the corrosive poison their body creates. After seeing how unhappy Cinnabar is, Foe decides to find a role that both of the rejected gems can enjoy, herself and Cinnabar. Hoseki no Kuni follows Phos in efforts to be useful and protect its fellow gems. Now, the interesting thing about this manga is that they use the word they or he, especially in the manga they do this a lot for translation errors. So they don't really they're genderless.
They're genderless, yeah.
They're crystals. So they will refer to them as they, them, or their, or him. I think translating mangas did this a lot too to make it a lot easier. So just if you're getting confused about them or their, that's why.
The one that I read was extremely confusing because they just swapped between saying he or she, however like they felt. And I was like, I'm wondering if they went like very much structured by what type of like whether they were using masculine or feminine pronouns, but for the most part, I think they said everybody uses masculine, but they established that they're genderless. And it was very confusing where I read it. They're supposed to be genderless. They're supposed to be a bunch of lovely NB gem people. Yeah, cool. Yes. So, yes.
Begrudgingly? How do you say that?
Begrudgingly.
Begrudgingly?
Begrudgingly. That makes so much sense.
So now we're going to go one at a time and tell you whether or not we enjoyed the manga. I know that Lou said that he really liked the anime. How did you feel about the manga with no spoilsies?
So I think the Steven Universe manga is pretty good. Because,
right. Literally, as I was reading it, I was like, there are so many things about this that are exactly like Steven Universe. And it's really weird.
Fun fact, as far as if I'm not mistaken, the manga started running maybe a month before Steven Universe premiered.
Interesting.
It's such a weird coincidence.
How odd.
It happened at the same time.
Two people in two very different places in the world were like, I'm going to write a thing about genderless gems saving the world.
I don't know. Maybe my theory is that maybe they went out to like a convention sometime for animation or for drawing, and then they ran into each other at a dinner table, and they're like, one person was just like, yo, what if there was just like a manga or a show about like genderless gems?
And they were both like...
They both wrote down like, I gotta get to work.
Holy shit, now. I have to leave now. Yeah, but Lou, how'd you feel about it?
So, all right, so I said I love the anime.
Yes.
The manga has part of what I like. The thing is that, all right, in terms of the visuals, it's really hard to track how everything is told in the manga. Yeah. So that really affects the whole flow of the storytelling. I feel like a lot of the quirkiness of the characters that is in the anime, while it's like the groundwork is there in the manga, it's like the anime really builds it up a lot. So I like, if this would have been my first exposure to the story, I would have been like, oh yeah, it's fucking awesome. I like it. It's good. But if I had to recommend this story to anyone to consume as a first experience, the anime is way better.
Oh, what happened there?
We lost the broski.
Oh no!
Oh no! We lost the broski. I'm gonna move back a bit because I'm like all zoomed in now.
You're the whole picture. Yeah, you're everybody now.
I'm everybody.
You're everyone.
This is my fucking manga
Hell
pod.
yeah, this is your manga pod.
Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna like while this is all getting started and while Dakota shows up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna point out my manga collection because you can see Bakuman there.
Oh yeah.
You see Lucifer and the Biscuit Hammer. It's great. Oh, broski.
Dakota's come back. Bud.
That was weird. Okay,
there you are. Yay! What a delight.
I went to mute my microphone so I could vape and not be obnoxious, and I ended up being way more obnoxious than I thought I was going to be.
Wait, that's actually really funny. Did it take you a second? Were you like, wait, what the fuck just happened?
No, it closed out my Discord altogether. Crap.
Oh shit.
Like, I got to go log on to Twitter, Twitch right now to see what kind of clusterfuck just happened.
It was good. It was really
Lou
good.
was where my face was.
It's totally fine.
Every
you can
screen
watch
on MangaPod.
You can watch the VODs over on youtube.com/happily-airing.
It's true. Well, Dakota, now that you're back, how do you, without spoilsing, how do you feel about the manga? Because you've also watched the anime, yes?
Okay, yes. The one thing that holds up between the anime and the manga that I think is Foss's evolution, and it's all about her, him, it, they trying to. It's gonna be hard to do now. They are trying to find, I guess, purpose with all this going on. They're classified as useless gems. They're not useless, but faulty gems, and they're just trying to find a purpose. And this holds up a lot in the manga. So what I grabbed from the manga was mostly just Foss's journey through this. A lot of things that I loved in the anime, like Lou said, was like the pacing of the show was crazy. Like it felt like 20 chapters blew by way faster than the show did. And by the time we were switching off of arcs, it was crazy how fast this was going. All the I think when the show ends around 26 or 7, I could be wrong, chapter wise. So reading up to
Okay.
20 was nice. If y'all want to keep going a little bit. I would recommend reading the manga. I would say, first of all, I would personally say check out the anime first, and then read the manga if you are wanting to expand out into the story. Because a lot, like Lou said, a lot of the groundwork for all the characters are there, but a lot of the quirkiness is gone. Like there are even, I think, 1 or 2 scenes I saw that was in the anime that wasn't even in the manga.
Interesting.
Yeah, one scene I could have missed it because I was reading through it, but the one scene where they're like, "Oh, we can't wake up Sensei yet because he's sleeping." I tried waking him up, and it shows this one gem like just going like, "Hey, hey, Sensei," and like starts punching him like, "Hey, hey, Sensei," and then breaks one of their arms, and like they're like, "Ah!" It was hilarious in the show, but I didn't see it in the manga.
I think that may happen later, Dakota.
Really?
Maybe.
Dakota
Because
Broski, spoils before the spoiler warning.
Can't even
God.
believe this.
Because I swear that was...
You're a rotten bacon butt, Dakota.
Yeah, you're a rotten bacon butt, Dakota.
Where's the rotten bacon butt button? Hit it right now. Do we have that? Yeah.
So
but,
yeah.
I would recommend reading it.
So out of everybody that's here, I didn't even realize there was an anime. I didn't know what the story was at all. I went into this completely blind, aside from the summary that I did read, which was very brief, just being like, it's about gems. And I was like, Steven Universe? And I completely agree with Lou. Honestly, if I'm being totally honest, the first 10 chapters that we read, I was bored out of my fucking mind. Like, I did not enjoy it at all. I was like, this is going to be so hard to read because I couldn't tell the difference between characters. I couldn't tell what was going on during the action. But I will say, from chapters maybe like 5 up to where we stopped, 20, there is rapid growth in how the mangaka draws things. It still very much looks like the original art, but it's just a lot cleaner. Moments that are supposed to look like really interesting and fascinating are done really well. The action is still a little muddy for me, but you can tell that they were trying a lot harder to make it so that it was like, this is this character, this is this character, this is this character, and that people really looked different. Not saying that all of the characters looked identical, just some of them blended together for me, and it was hard. So I'm really interested in watching the anime, to be honest, because by the time I got to chapter 20, I was like, wow, the lore is really picking up. This is really starting to get super interesting. Specifically the last like 5 chapters that we read, I was like, fuck, I'm like really invested in this now. And at chapter 10, I thought that I was going to be like sleeping through the last 10 chapters that we had to read. So I think, yeah, I can see how the anime would probably be a big step up for the problems that I had with this manga. I do, again, think that the story started to get really interesting where we stopped. So it's difficult for me to say whether I would recommend it or not, because it wasn't until like the tail end that I really enjoyed myself. Mm-hmm. And I don't know whether or not I assume it continues to like get better and better and be more and more interesting, but I don't know that for sure. So I will defer to the other two when they say like the anime is really good and yeah, the manga's pretty great. Erin said that she really loves Snow Boy, and that's all that I'll say. That's her review. She sat down to read it, read it all in one go, didn't realize she had read all of the chapters, and loves Snow Boy. So for any of you who have watched the anime or read the manga, you know who that is. That's her review of it.
I will say too, a big thing about the anime is that every single fight scene is executed beautifully. Like there is not one bad fight scene in this that's dull.
That's what I'm craving, is to like see the fight scenes how they're supposed to be. Like they just don't make sense to me in the manga. Like I don't understand what's going on in them ever.
I think me and Lou talked a little bit on our podcast too with Holden about how since it's CG, they take advantage of everything already being platformed. so they can render out cool ass shots all around, film wise, for these fight scenes. Like one of the I can't
changes in perspective is what Holden was
it.
saying. So changes of perspective and a lot of really interesting camera movement.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
So like I
Basically,
really
everything
think it's
in manga doesn't have.
Right.
Exactly.
I'll definitely want to watch the anime then, yeah. But yeah, it sounds like the anime is amazing. And the manga, for me, got better. The manga, for them, they enjoyed it, but they also loved the anime as a base, so it helped with the manga, I'm sure.
That's really interesting, actually, because since we watched the show before, I don't think we ever got that. At least I didn't get the 10 chapters are moving really slow.
Oh my god, it was such a fucking
It's nice
drag.
to see a perspective.
I was like, I don't know how, specifically because Aaron had been like, wow, I just devoured this manga. I was on chapter 10 going, Sam, I don't know if I can fucking finish this. Like, I'm falling asleep every chapter. I'm falling asleep. I don't know what to do. Like, what's wrong with me? But yeah, the end of it really, really picked up. So, yeah. So I don't know. Go watch the anime. Go read the manga. Whatevs. It's a cool story. We are going to hop into spoiler section though. So if you have watched the anime, they were saying that you've definitely seen everything that we read in the manga. If you have not read the manga, if you have not seen the anime, if you don't want to be spoiled, you're going to get a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 countdown in just a second here. And you should leave because the lore in this world is really fascinating. And I think that if this sounds like a cool story that you would like to ingest, you should not have it spoiled for you. All right? Cool. Countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Sensei is God.
Sensei.
They got fucking new
God.
arms.
You froze at just the right moment. They got fucking new.
He got new arms and new legs, and it was really
Yo,
cool.
when they, for real though, when they got new legs, I was like,
Sorry, girl.
because. So okay, here's what I think. Really, I'm sorry, not to just like bombard
It's
this
fucking
shit.
cool, Brooke. Have at it.
Okay, so
Yeah.
they set it up at the beginning, and I think that this was my big problem, right? They set it up at the beginning. There's these moon people, the Lunanites or whatever. They show up, they steal gems, right? And we're following Foss, and Foss is like, I want to fight, and everybody's like, you can't fight. But what you can do is create an encyclopedia of our world. And I was like, interesting. I wonder if that's going to be kind of the format of this story.
And then she's like, fuck that.
Yeah. It's like, oh, we're going to watch a character like go around this world that's been struck by meteors 6 times and has gem people living on it and like all of this crazy fauna. Like that would actually be fascinating while all these fights are going on and all of the lore is continuing, to have the main character be the person who's going around like cataloging everything. Literally, they never did any of that. Not once.
Technically, no. Technically, right now, she is doing that. Like, through her own personal experiences and through, like, her trying to be relevant, she's actually encyclopediaing it for us.
No, they are not.
But she's still learning about so much shit.
That's a fucking stretch, Dakota. That's not, no. She tried, but she has the fucking attention span of a gnat. So,
yeah.
You know. And, like, Sensei definitely is good at a lot of things. Picking jobs for people is not one of them.
Yeah. I also don't know whether or not I can trust Sensei.
Can you just like walk? I love how that they dropped that bomb where it was just like, nobody really does trust him. They already know he's kind of shady, but we just all trust him. Like it was just
when was that said?
That was like 20, wasn't it? 2019.
No, Dakota. God damn it.
No,
you're bad.
You guys stopped in the wrong chapter. You guys stopped.
What did wind up being said was they asked Foss, like, why do you want to fight? And they said, because I love Sensei so much. Mm-hmm. And then everybody else said, well, yeah, I mean, if we're being honest, yes, the reason that we all want to fight is because we trust and we believe in Sensei. So you're saying the opposite, and that's really fucking me up, Dakota.
No, I didn't.
But the thing that was weirding me out was when Foss came back from the water, right? That was honestly the best arc of the whole thing that we read so far.
Oh my god!
Like
Yes.
You got
that
so
was
much info dumping right there.
absolutely incredible. But like, to have Foss come back and then be like, hey, we know that your legs got blown off, and with every limb that you lose parts of like your memory and who you are. What do you remember? And they're like, I remember humans. And he's just like fucking breaks table. And everybody's like, wow, that was really extreme. We should leave. And I was like, is that not suspicious? Like, what is he knows shit. That kills me. Anyway, I'm sorry. Other people talk, please. I have a lot of
No, like to kind of
Do
like
not
build
have
off
me
of
talk.
that. To build off of what you said, Brooke, I like how the rationalization is for him breaking the table is, well, he must be really pissed off at Foes. She must have said something really fucking stupid.
Yeah, Foss is like, he's just really frustrated that Foss can't remember anything. I'm like, so frustrated that he breaks a table?
I don't know. He kind of just every time he yells at somebody, he just shatters them, and he's like, "Sorry about that, but you had to learn." Is that like not a weird punishment? It's you shouldn't have done that. It's like they break it to a million pieces.
It's
and
the
they're
equivalent of like a spanking, but for a gem, right? Because like the gems are immortal anyway, as long as they don't lose a piece. I find it very unbelievable that they always manage to collect all of the pieces to put a gem back together.
Well, I mean, that's why they said that what ends up happening is there's a certain amount that's required for them to like become sentient. But apart from that, like if they don't have quite everything, they start to lose bits and pieces of their memory.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess that's why they had the spot that had all of the like flecks of gems that weren't created properly, right? That they would gather to fill space.
Age and time are also really weird with this manga because you find out that like Foss is what 300 and something years old.
Yeah, and is the youngest.
She's the youngest one. Yeah. So you got people living for thousands of years, and this manga takes place within like a year, I think, because like it went through the winter, it went through however long. So it's really weird how like they just throw away time like it's nothing within 20 chapters.
I thought maybe a lot more time because they don't entirely explain how long the hibernation is, but I thought maybe a lot of time went by when we hit chapter 20 because like they had changed their hair and everything.
Oh, she looks so mature too.
Yeah, I was like, oh my god, they look so much older. Yeah, and then it was just, no, the hibernation's ending. They still haven't totally figured out how to use their arms. Wop, 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 wop. It's like, okay.
Haven't figured. God, who's the girl guy? This is gonna kill me.
Person.
Who's the gem with the cool black hair?
Oh, the fighter one.
Bort. I think
Borked or yeah.
Bort was one of my favorites.
Mm-hmm.
Bort is such a badass.
We didn't see Bort often enough, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't, but still, the few experiences that we got with Bort were pretty fucking great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cinnabar was another one that I kept thinking was going to be much more involved in the story, and so far has just like is involved, but like is really just on Foss's mind more than they're actually involved in anything, which I get because they're around at nighttime, but
but conversely, I would say that while like clearly Foss cares about keeping their promise to Cinnabar, there are also like stretches of time where I feel like Cinnabar is completely forgotten by Foss.
Yeah.
So like the entire time when they were going in the ocean, it kind of felt like, like I forgot about Cinnabar for a little bit. Yeah. And then like she shows up as kind of like the person that really like she comes in at key times, or they come in at key times to like be involved in the like major plot important stuff.
What were so the lore of the underwater people is that the people underwater are the flesh, the people on land are the bone, and the people on the moon are the soul. Was that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't.
And was it a hint? Was the hint that the people trying the the goddamn moon
Lunarians.
people,
The
that
Moonies.
one-
Yes.
the Moonies? It wasn't her like the fish, the jellyfish. Was that like thing? Is like, hey, the rumor is they're doing this to be able to put back together a human
To try and
that
put
was
us all back together. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what Sensei. Okay, who's Sensei? Let's do it.
Well,
What?
Sensei's definitely a gem. Well, or is he? Because when they like on the pages at the beginning of the volumes where they have like, here are all of the gems we know, here's their hardness, and here's something about them. Under Sensei, it's always a bunch of question marks. And I'm like,
Maybe he's just the strongest gem. I don't know.
maybe. But we also have never seen him. Well, I guess, yeah, if he's the hardest gem, he wouldn't have ever shattered. But we've just never seen him like break at all, right?
I mean,
Yeah, no.
I mean, conversely, if Sensei has been around the longest, and it's been established that gems are immortal,
Right.
it stands to reason that Sensei is a gem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who is it Yellow Diamond that's the oldest of the like baby gems?
It's baby gems.
They said that they were like 1,300 years old or something like that, and that's the oldest of the like fighter gems.
Mm-hmm.
I think so.
I believe that's right. I love how Ice Dude just comes out once every hibernation just to do the job. That's
yeah,
it.
they're liquid. They're in liquid form until it gets cold. I was like, oh, poor baby. But at least they have like a nice little bathtub to hang out in for the whole year.
You know what's gonna suck is because at the end of it, and I'm fact checking right here that when an Arctic got captured was before 20. Make sure I don't fuck that up again.
Yes.
Yes.
So what if they took him up into the moon and then winter ended and just everything melted and they're like, what the fuck do we do with this?
They're like, oh no. oh God.
That would suck, actually. I'm starting to think about that now.
Yeah.
Antarctic might be fucked.
Well, Foss has like a big chunk of Antarctic, right? That's like sitting in a bowl, and then had that nightmare that Antarctic like came back and then shattered again.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, please tell me this isn't happening in real life because Foss can't handle this shit anymore. Like, this is too much.
Foss is growing up, and I'm so proud of him.
I know. Sweet Foss. Yeah.
Yeah, it just takes, them losing parts of their body.
Yeah.
for
She
them
lost
to
her-
grow
Yeah,
as a
that's
person.
the thing, right? Is that like Foss has literally lost both legs and both arms at this point.
That's like 50%,
And within the lore, yeah, like they've lost so much memory and potentially a lot of personality.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm wondering if that's kind of the point, is that we start to be like, oh wow, they're really maturing, but it's because they're totally like losing their sense of who they are,
Yeah, I'm not
Which
going
is
to
really
say
sad.
because somebody spoiled something for me that I don't know if it's a spoiler or not, and I have to continue reading to figure out if it's
Gotcha.
not mine, and I can't say it, but when we do, you text me and we'll figure it out on the next stream of this because it is, I don't know, apparently stuff goes absolutely AWOL after this, I think. Because if you think about it, in the past 10, it's 80 chapters, and in the past 10 chapters, we had so much.
There are 80 chapters total.
I think so right now. 80 or 85, I could be wrong. But I think like within the 10 chapters, so much within the story has moved, and so many questions have arrived. It makes me think like, what else is there going to fucking happen in 80 chapters?
Right.
You have me curious. I'm looking at the chapter count right now.
I know that like there are a lot of volumes listed,
Oh,
but I
I'm
didn't
wrong,
count up the
77.
chapters.
I was close, 77.
You were close, yeah. I think that's close enough to be like, yeah, 80. yeah.
I rounded up.
But is the story complete or is it still running?
I think
still
it's still running because
Okay.
people in chat were saying the chapters come out very slow. So it's one of those I love pain sort of manga if you're following it.
There is like 12 manga I have that I'm just waiting to update, and they update like once a month, once every 3 months. Oh my god. So what was better for you guys experience wise? Was it the new legs or was it the new arms?
The new arms I thought were aesthetically more interesting, especially seeing after the small time skip, seeing them use like, because Sensei was saying that every time Foss uses the arms, they actually like crack through their body, right, to like come out other places. And I was like, God, that's so intense, but really cool, like creating the steps to walk up and that kind of stuff.
But kind of works better for Foss because he's already so fragile.
Yeah.
So maybe it's
exactly
fit.
Like a very fragile gem anyway. So it's easy for this much harder gem to like squeeze through.
That,
So that sort of stuff is really interesting, I think.
For me, I prefer more the legs because that's where we're seeing like Foss starting to stand out amongst the gems and starting to be more than just the klutz that's not going to contribute anything. Though I will say later in the story, my opinion would change. Based on what we read, I prefer the section with the change in the legs.
I love when Foss starts running and they just can't stop.
Yeah. Like,
that was like, I just have no idea how to stop. And then it was like, I got you, don't worry. And it was like, oh, I forgot there was a rock there, and she has like a head split in two.
Yeah, those sort of gags actually were really funny to me.
There are a lot of good gags in this manga.
Because they literally can't die, so they just keep like shattering, doing stupid shit, and I'm like, that's actually a good goof.
There are some goofs I think were in this that weren't in the anime too, which is fun to read. That's why I like reading manga. There's always something extra to pick up on. There's always a little something extra to pick up on.
I thought the 4 comma at the end of every volume were really confusing though. All of them were just like, I don't know if this is a cultural thing or like a translation issue, but none of these really make sense to me. Yeah, people keep asking, and we were talking about this during sound check, but who's your guys' favorite gem?
Oh, snap.
Aaron's is Antarcticite. Just to establish.
Lou, you want to go first? Because I want to say Foss, but it might not be Foss, and I got to look him up right now just to double check.
I'm gonna say Foss. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take the easy one.
Yeah.
Foss is pretty fucking great. As I was reading this, I was remembering that she was voiced by the same person that voiced Kumiko in Hibike Euphonium.
Oh, nice.
So it's just I like Kumiko as a character.
Yeah.
So it's just I don't know, they just come off as really fucking similar. Like, it didn't feel like much of a change for that voice actress. So like as I'm reading through this, I'm hearing that voice and I'm like, fuck yeah, this is great.
Yeah.
I like Foss. She's an adorable moe klutz who turns into a badass occasionally.
Yeah.
But I could totally see why Antarcticite is Aaron's favorite.
For sure.
They were so
she's
good.
Such a they're such a badass, but then they have like that heart of gold that they warm up for Sensei.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh
like,
my God, I totally forgot. I totally forgot about that trope in that character. It was just like, you won't keep me from Sensei.
I love the one where it was like hey, can I have the usual? And it's just a hug.
I know.
And Boss is in the corner sitting there like, so what's the usual?
So, you guys always hug or what? What's up with that?
There's so many good characters in this.
My
favorite.
Yeah.
Oh,
sorry.
wait.
No, keep going.
No, you keep going.
I was just gonna say I really like the Dr. Gem. I don't know why. I think because they're just like a consistent character that's just like.
Do you remember when they were doing the hardening test? So they were hitting people with like a little hammer, and it would just shake their whole body and vibrate it. And they're like, "Oh my God, please don't do that!" And then Foss is like, "All right, I'm ready." Do it. Have your worst.
I don't remember that.
That had to have that. I know that happened before chapter 20. It was a little itty bitty bit. But they were
I don't
doing
know.
it.
I don't
remember
remember
that.
it.
At least
Okay,
not
so-
in the manga, Dakota.
it
You're
was in the manga.
probably right though,
No, I
but I
swear to
don't
God.
remember that.
I will find this chapter after this stream. But anyways, so it was like a little small, like 2-page thing or 1-page thing. But the doctor was doing a little hardening test, and it was just like ting, and it was just like trying to do the see what their wit strength was over the years. But anyways, okay, doctor was cool. Who
I
else?
also-
Doctor's way
also
cooler
re-
in the fucking anime.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
I
the
I actually
twins.
do really like Cinnabar too. I want
Yeah.
Cinnabar to be one of the reasons I think that it stuck out to me that Cinnabar was not involved at all is that like they talk about Cinnabar a lot, but we don't get to see Cinnabar very often. Like this whole I really want to find, you know, something that they can do that involves everybody and is like part of the team and stuff. And Sensei's like, Cinnabar literally said that they want to do this because there's like nothing else that they can do because they literally secrete poison. Like,
Chapter 3. I am not a
Nice.
rotten bacon butt. Okay, so
we weren't
Go for
accusing
it.
you of that. We were just saying we didn't remember it.
okay, so the what was it? The doctor was cool. I like the twins a lot. The twins that the twins.
Amethyst.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was a pretty cool thing, and it was like, hey, we're gonna show off a little bit, and then it was like, Foss, run right now. We are fucked.
Yeah,
I really just like when they clank their heads together.
I
Oh,
thought that was such a
yeah.
funny bit. Oh my god. I thought that was so funny with Foss being like, "This, I hate this.
Well,
I don't want to
finally
be
get-
with them anymore."
I finally get the fight. Why is it with these two? I like Diamond a lot too. I think we
Diamond
get
is a
lot more-
sweetheart.
It's a very sweet heart.
Yeah.
So sweet, such heart. But yeah, anime wise, it's a lot. It's weird how like the your impressions on the characters are like way different from the anime to the manga.
I'm
Like they're
sure-
so much more prevalent
Like
on the
I was
anime.
saying,
It's
is
crazy.
the manga didn't do a good job for me of differentiating characters, and it seemed like it wasn't really a priority until later. And I feel like, especially after seeing the brief pages with color in the hair, even that helps so much. Like to be like, oh,
does.
you're this person, because they all have different colored hair and stuff.
The
like
only difference is that Diamond has like an absurdly amount of shine to their hair,
right.
but they have to emphasize that's what's going on because whenever she's not in the main part of the shot, it's just an average gem.
Yeah.
Like when they first appear up, it's just shine, and then like when they're in the background, it's just nothing. Same with everybody who has different hairstyles too is pretty cool. But yeah, it's kind of hard to identify somebody other than like if they have a lot of different hair. Like Bort has like an insanely
Bort
amount of
really stands out.
Yeah, and it's really hard not to. They come off with this hard badass character, but at the end they're just like, Sensei, you're so cool.
I'm sad I just saw that spoiler in chat.
What
Same.
spoiler in chat?
It makes me sad.
You've been saved, Dakota.
You've been saved. There was no spoiler, Dakota. Nothing
Probably already
happened.
know it. We'll see happen.
Anyways.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that was like a hard like 3 or 4 spoiler right there, man.
No, I had to time them out to delete the actual spoiler message. Sorry, my
Gotcha. It's
dude.
okay.
Spoilers only up to chapter 20. No spoilies after that, or you get timed out. Love you. Yeah. So since we're kind of touching on it, how did you guys feel about the art overall? I went into it during like non-spoiler section kind of, but
It does a lot of great things in certain ways, like not the average. Like there's a lot of like simple drawings in this, but when it's trying to do something, it's really cool. And like, because like for example, when they're fighting the sunspots, and all the arrows come down, there's beautiful sequences of just like hitting the arrows and breaking them, and slicing up sunspots. But then you get like just some pages is just Foss being looking like a dork. and that's about it for
Yeah.
like 20 pages.
The faces in general got a lot better as we got further in, but the first few chapters, the faces were so messy to me. And yeah, the action was so messy. It was really, really hard to follow what was going on for a while there.
I feel like the mangaka was trying to condense a couple chapters of story into one, and to do that they had to like cram all these panels together. Like there wasn't enough room for the story to breathe.
Yeah.
And I feel like as they progressed, things started to get spaced out a little bit better.
Yeah.
And action became more easy to discern. And with that change also came an improvement in the way that the story was being told. Like I feel like things felt more fluid, which made the back half of what our reading, which like I totally get your experience with this manga, Brooke, and I think that if I would have gone into this manga without the experience of having seen and loved the anime, I think I would have probably been sour on it. I don't think I would be singing its praises.
Yeah.
Because I'm the type of person that it like if I get a really bad start with the manga, it takes a long time for me to get over that. Like for example, the first 3 volumes of My Hero Academia I didn't care for.
Same.
And it took a while for me to like really fall in love with that manga, which I did eventually.
Same.
But I feel like if I would have had this negative experience with the first 10 chapters, I would have been bitter because like time is finite, and if we're gonna read stuff, I want to read stuff that I'm gonna get some form of enjoyment on it out of, whether it be in the form of this is genuinely good or something I can make fun of.
I mean,
and I feel like the first 10 chapters don't really fit in either of those categories, because
we had like that really good arc with the jellyfish and all of that, and the legs, and I thought that arc was so good, and that's when I really started to be like, I maybe see why people enjoy this. And yeah, the pacing from that point on and the art from that point on like really seemed to improve a lot. And so hearing from you guys that the anime is really good and seeing so many people in chat be like, this is one of my favorite manga, I'm sure that it continues to be really good, and that the mangaka continues to learn and grow and develop and tell their story better and better. So honestly, I'm not coming into this being like, what a waste of time, because I did see like light. I was in a tunnel and I saw light finally in those last few chapters that I did read. So, yeah.
But it was messy there. It was messy at the beginning, and y'all know I'm telling the truth.
I feel like with Lou, like me and you, like I don't know, because did you read you watched My Hero before reading My Hero, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Wait,
I did not. I read My Hero and then watched
I read
My
it
Hero.
first.
Really? Okay, cool. Never mind then. Because for me, like it's hard to read certain mangas, but like when I'm watching the anime, I've already watched the anime, because I look at this thing, I got to get to this point that I've already been through, and it doesn't do a good job of like enticing me into the manga. Then it feels like I'm having to go through it to be able to get to the point where I won't. Where at that point, I feel like I just go ahead and skip it at that point and get to the chapter where. But I feel like it's blasphemy for me to do that. Is it?
Sorry. We just got raided by Russ, so I was thanking him. Welcome, everybody. Sorry, what did you say? I'm so sorry. What were you saying? I'm sorry. Fuck. I'm so sorry. I got distracted.
It's okay. All right. So take 2, Dakota, action.
You were saying that there's some manga that when you're watching the anime along with trying to read the manga, or you've watched the anime already and then you try to read the manga, sometimes the manga just doesn't hold up.
Yeah, and I feel like I gotta skip to the one because I'm not really reading it for anything except for the information or the further on the story. So it feels like maybe I should just skip to where, like for example, I've watched the anime of this anime stops at around 26 or 27, maybe I should just skip ahead to Land of Lustrous chapter 26 without reading the. And I feel kind
Right.
of bad for doing that. Is that
Me too.
But
No, I totally understand that, because there have definitely been times that even the other way around, where we've read a manga and I've been like, it was okay, and everybody's like, yeah, but if you picked up on the anime from this point and then watched the anime, like, the anime is so good, and that way you don't have to, watch all of the stuff that covers the chapters that we just read. And I even feel bad doing that, like, but shouldn't I watch the anime from the beginning? Shouldn't I read the manga from the beginning? Like, that's hard for me. Yeah, I understand that.
it's definitely one of the mangas though I want to buy, because this looks like, okay, they come in a little bit bigger of a book. I've seen them, and so physical copies of this. It looks beautiful. The artwork is amazing on each cover. It's a really nice shelf piece for you manga lovers. I would say buy it.
Yeah, I'm planning on picking it up, even though I have issues with the art. I want to support the release because I want more of it to come over here. I want to own this fucking story. It's such a good story.
Oh yeah, no, I want so much more of it. And I don't know how we're looking on a season 2, if we are or not going to get one, because it came
When
out
did
what,
season 1
2
come
years
out?
ago?
2 years ago. Okay.
2017, I want to say.
Yeah, like early March or something like that. And we haven't really heard much from it, so it's not looking too good.
Yeah. Well, fingers crossed. I hope so.
I mean, you'd be surprised with all the shit that's been getting like second and third seasons out of the fucking nowhere,
Right?
And remakes.
Yeah,
Like
shows
fucking
where I'm
Fruits
like,
Basket getting a remake that's coming out soon. Out
that
of the
makes
fucking
sense.
blue.
That makes sense though. That makes sense though. Have you seen how many people are like, holy fucking shit, I don't even watch anime and I can't wait to sit down and watch this shit? Like, they knew. They knew there's an entire generation of people who in middle school and high school were all about Fruits Basket and are now adults and being like, I just want to see Fruits Basket again. Like, that would make sense.
That good old anime club.
Yeah.
Welcome to Anime Club after high school. We're gonna watch Fruit Baskets for the 1600th time, followed by Inuyasha and maybe a little Naruto if we can squeeze it in.
I'll hang out for the Naruto segment. I will not be there for Inuyasha. Cool. Do you guys have any final thoughts that you would like to throw in there before we give our ratings?
Nah, I think I'm good.
Gems are dope. This thing was done by Studio Orange, which they haven't done much season 2, so I'm not looking forward to this. All right. Nah, I'm good. It's just I don't know. Would y'all recommend it? Is that we're going into right now?
Yeah, like giving it a rating, recommending it. I honestly, I can go first. I would probably give it like a 5 or a 6, to be honest. Like, what we read, I would give a 5 or a 6, because it wasn't until the end of what we were reading that I was like, okay, yeah. I was so bored for the first half of our reading. I still don't think the art is like super clear on what it's trying to convey, and I'm sure that the anime is fantastic, and I'm sure that the lore and everything gets better and better and clearer, and I'm sure that it improves. But just based on what we read, and that's all that I have to go off of, and I've never seen the anime, I'll give it like a 5.5, to be honest.
I'll go next.
Yeah.
So having seen the anime, and I really fucking love the anime. I totally understand all the problems that Dodger had with this manga. Like, everything is totally valid. That said, I feel like because I had that experience with the anime, my reading was very streamlined. It was a very streamlined experience because I knew what to expect. I didn't have to dwell in the manga to take everything in. It was just something that came very naturally for me. So as someone that has seen the anime, my recommendation is gonna be to watch the anime. But I will say that if you've seen the anime, your experience reading the manga it'll be a little, it'll be better than if you're going it into the same way that Dodger went in. So and honestly, the way the anime ends, I want to read more of this manga anyways. So as for like, if I'm gonna assign it a numerical score, I think for the section of reading that we did, probably a 7.5. The first half is pretty weak, but the second half going into all the changes that Foss is starting to experience, and the section over the winter, I think those were very strong. And the section where they go into the ocean as well. So I think that the strong moments are incredibly like captivating and worthy of giving attention and time to. So yeah, 7.5 out of 10.
Dodger, did you look at your coffee cup and be really sad that you didn't have coffee?
Yeah, I drank it all.
I just had the same experience, but with my alcohol.
I know, I saw you looking at your cup like,
I was like, do
nothing
I have
left
any
in
more?
here.
Dodger's out of coffee. Am I out of? Fuck, I am out of alcohol. Fuck. Sad days. Lou, do you have any liquid with you?
I do not.
At least we had liquid. That's what we got to look at.
We had liquid. We experienced liquid together.
So, with recommendations, a lot of you in the chat have watched the anime and have liked the anime. And if you want to read the manga, I say go for it. But if it's slowing down, I say start about 20 and then go from there. But if you haven't, I'd say try it. I would say, like Lou, watch the manga. Watch the fucking anime first. Words are hard. Watch the anime first, and then if you might be able to get into it, but it might just be your investment into the story and wanting to see what happens afterwards, because the artwork it's kind of bland for me. Like a lot of this in the manga is bland, and it's other than story, other than what they're trying to form for whatever the fuck 70 chapters we have of it, it's a slow start, but hopefully it pays off. So I would recommend it, but I would say watch the anime first, and see if the story entices you. I would rate it as 6.21 out of 10.
Yep.
And that's not bad. It's just above average.
Whatever Foss's hardness level is, that's my rating.
That's a 3.5 Dodger.
Oh,
If I'm not
fuck.
mistaken.
Out of probably 100, to be honest.
Yike.
How do they do it out of 10 or 100?
Out of 10,
10.
I think.
Okay.
Because I think Diamond
so-
was what, 8? 7.5 or 8
Yeah.
or something like that.
And apparently, fucking Cinnabar is also pretty fragile too, huh?
Yeah, I
Yes.
mean, Cinnabar just constantly secretes a liquid. I assume they're pretty fragile. I don't know.
Yeah, because he has the same liquid thing as God, they're so similar
Cinnabar
now.
is
It's
a
so crazy.
2.5, apparently.
Wow.
A 2.5.
Jesus.
A lovely
Well,
2.5 in the darkness, traipsing
Ouch.
along the sands.
how does it feel to be shittier than Foss?
No.
All right.
So strong, so powerful, so smart.
I mean, I don't know who would win
In the
now, Cinnabar or
darkness.
Foss, because Foss has matured over so much.
But the second that Foss would touch Cinnabar, they would melt.
Yes.
Fair.
Thus, them living in solitude always.
Gold alloy can't help you with that one.
All right, cool. Yeah, overall, watch the anime. That seems to be the general feel of this group. Go watch the anime. I'm going to go watch the anime because I do find it intriguing. I just thought that the manga was very mediocre. So, yeah, I'll go watch it. Y'all go watch it. We'll find out whether or not it's good shit. Thank you all so much
they're
for
right.
watching
Ant's arc
MangaPod.
is also really Ant's arc is really low too.
Yes. Yeah. I remember they talked about that. I think Foss was like, oh, you're very weak like me, but you fight. That's incredible, etc. Because they get harder the colder it is, right? That was
That's
the whole
true.
that was the
Yes.
whole thing.
Sorry, back to saying goodbye to all you.
Lou, do you have the summary for the next manga?
I was not prepared today.
I totally forgot
sorry.
about that too. I forgot that that's a thing that we do. We're lost without Aaron.
I know what we're reading. I'm just not a good boy. I didn't get it ready. But if
okay.
you give me one second, I
Yeah,
can
would you
get
like
that.
to, once you have it up, would you like to read it?
Oh, absolutely. I'm so down.
Great. Okay, so
I'm wondering if I'm gonna wam this one up.
it's gonna be amazing.
There were so many obnoxious words in that description that were unnecessarily there. You're a goddamn Mal page. You do not need to be that fucking exciting. Just talk about the gems and be about the gems. Don't put words like goddamn bragugly in it.
Yeah,
Begrudgingly.
googly. So yeah,
Dakota, actually, upon reading this, I kind of want Dakota to read this, but I feel like that would be bullying. So no.
no
I-
bullying.
I'm gonna read. I'm gonna
No
read
bullying.
it. I'm gonna read it.
Challenge.
So what Lou is going to do is he is going to read the summary for the manga that we are going to be reading for next week's MangaPod, except he is going to leave out some keywords, and we're going to see whether or not you guys can guess what manga it is, even with
But
the
it's not the
blanks.
big ones.
Go for it, my
Okay.
dude.
In a world populated by anthropomorphic blank and blank coexist with each other. For the adolescents of Blank Academy, school life is filled with hope, romance, distrust, and uneasiness. The main character, Blank, is a member of the drama club. Despite his menacing appearance, he has a very gentle heart. Throughout most of his life, he has always been an object of fear and hatred by other Blank, and he's been quite accustomed to that lifestyle. But soon he finds himself becoming more involved with his fellow classmates, who have their own share of insecurities, and finds his life in school changing slowly.
Senthris and Thanks both got it. Beastars. What,
Hell yeah.
what chapters are we reading, my dude? We've read this once
We
before.
are reading chapters 43 to 83. There we go.
When does the
And if-
Beastars anime happen?
It's really fucking soon.
Really
Hold
soon,
on.
right?
I'm pretty sure it's done by the same studio that did Hoseki no Kuni, Land of the
Oh.
Lustrous.
Orange?
That would be
So-
amazing. Yeah,
It
Orange,
is.
right?
It is, and it is coming out apparently October of this year.
Amazing.
Maybe they should have done another Land of Lustrous instead. Not sure.
What?
Find
Beastars
out next
great.
week
How
on
dare you,
episode.
Beastars is
Dakota.
fucking great.
I was
Dakota.
reading that. I was a
Dakota.
segue to lead into next week's episode where you should go find out and watch it.
If you would like to
God,
watch
so
the
much
first,
doubt.
if you would like to watch the first episode of us talking about Beastars, you can find it on youtube.com/happilyerin. That is also where all of the MangaPod VODs are hosted. Please go and tell Erin at Happily Erin on absolutely everything. Go tell her how much we love her, how much we miss her, and I'm sure that she will be back with us next week. But in the meantime, I'm Dodger at DexBonus on everything. You might be watching this on my Twitch channel right now, but I will be streaming immediately after this. Actually, we're gonna do some Minesweeper because I'm garbage. So if you would like to come hang out and play Minesweeper with me, hey. Then hang out, settle in, you know.
I just found out how to play Minesweeper and the rules for Minesweeper.
It's great.
Literally like last week.
Every single
I
time.
never understood it.
Every time I play Minesweeper on stream, a bunch of people are like, I've never known how to play this, and I get to teach a bunch of people how to play Minesweeper. It's wonderful.
We'll play competitive Minesweeper.
Hell yeah.
First you hit one, and then I hit one, and then you hit one, then I'll hit one, and then whoever hits first loses.
Great.
So it's like Russian roulette, basically.
Yeah.
No, because there's logic in Minesweeper. All right, Lou, tell everybody who you are.
My name's Lou, and I come from a place on the internet.
Yes.
That's a YouTube channel called Lou Talks Anime, where I occasionally post content. You know, it's sparingly at this point, but where I am active on YouTube is a podcast that I do with my boy Dakota Broski, called The Anime Hour. We've had a few episodes go up, and it's been a pretty good time so far. I've been really busy with life, so the latest episode is kind of being held up in editing, but it will go up as soon as I can. Outside of that, you can talk to me on Twitter. I'm really active on there, so that's twitter.com/LouTalksAnime, and that's my stuff. It was great. I really like talking about this manga, and I want to rewatch the anime.
Yeah.
I do too.
That's how I am right now.
Let's all watch the anime. That's what I'm
Hell
telling
yeah.
you.
We
And
should
Dakota,
stream.
our lovely guest, tell everybody where they can find you and what you do.
My name is Dakota Broski. You can find me at Dakota Broski Anime TV on YouTube. Also on the Anime Hour podcast that I should probably be editing the audio right now, but I'm really slow at editing audio. That's why we do it so much at a time. Also, Dakota Broski on Twitter and everything else. I do Dakota Broski streams on Twitch, which I've been more active on, where we watch anime and do stupid stuff, like drunkenly put a chair together. This one specifically, I love talking about this anime. I also love talking about manga with my friends, not anime, these guys. So hopefully you'll see me soon again. Until next time.
Hell yeah. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Tune in for B-Stars next week. Go tell Erin that she's lovely, and we will see you next time. Okay?
Begrudgingly.
Begrudgingly.
Bye.
We will begrudgingly be here next week. Untrue. We love doing this show. We'll see you next week.